Okay, so I just wanted to show you how to actually make this in Design Space so you can cut it out with Infusible Ink. So this is all pretty much sliced out of a rectangle. So what I'm going to do first is insert a rectangle. So I'm just going to go to Shapes, click on Square, and then up here on my size, I'm actually going to put the width to 7, and I'm going to click the lock so it unlocks, and then I'm going to make this 5 and push enter. So there I have my rectangle in the back, and you can change this to light gray if you want to see it, how it's going to look on the aluminum sheet. And then you're just going to start entering text. So just enter the name that you want, and you can do really anything you want. You can make it all capital if you want. And up here, choose whatever font you want that you like. Here I am using the Arab brush stroke. So then I'm just going to use the double arrows here to size this and make it a little bit smaller so it fits inside the frame here. And then I'm just going to add separate text boxes to add the birth stats. So this is just so I can maneuver them better, but you can put it all in one box if you want to. But I like to make maybe the date bigger than the other things. So, and then one more. 8 pounds, 2 ounces. And make that a little bit smaller. And then really whatever you want to put on here. 21 inches. And then I'm just going to use the space bar to go over. And then just type in that. So with the space bar, you can just make it as far away as you want. So again, this is why I do them separate, so I can kind of size them a little bit to how I want them. And I just click on each of them separately with my mouse. And make that one a little bit smaller. So once I get them to about the size I want them, I'm going to use my Control key and hold it down and click on this one. And I just want the bottom one, but it's clicking on the square. I'm going to click on this. Okay, so since my square kept getting caught, I just actually clicked on it and put send to back, just so it was all the way in the back so it wasn't catching on anything. So now I'm going to click on these, hold my Control, and then click on this and click on this. And I'm actually going to align these, distribute these vertically to each other, and then align them center so they're centered to each other. So you don't have to do the vertically. I mean, you can always click on this and move it down a little bit if you want, or up. Personal preference. That's what's so great about these programs. So now that I have all of this aligned, hit my Control again. And I'm actually going to group these just so that they stay put. So now I'm just going to insert some of the elephant and the hearts. And again, this is totally personal. You can do whatever you want. I'm just going into images and I'm typing in elephant and I just put baby. And I'm just using this one right here. So I'm going to click on this and click on insert. And you'll see he comes in like this. And since I am cutting this out of Infusible Ink, I actually want, and slicing it, I want some of these to actually be the color. So I'm going to actually come up here to my layers panel and I'm just going to actually hide this one. And so now that will, these actually will stay gray and this will be the Infusible Ink color. So again, another just preference to what I want. And I'm just going to size him so he fits in between here. And then I'm actually going to just duplicate him, so I don't have to do it twice. I'm just going to duplicate right there up on the right corner, and then I want to flip him around to the other side. So right here on flip, I'm just going to flip him horizontal and move him right over here. Okay, so now I'm going to insert the hearts. So you can easily just go into shapes and do a heart here if you want, or you can come into images and type in hearts. You can see there's a lot of hearts, and I used this one right here. And I'm going to make them smaller. But you'll see that they're still attached together and they're not letting me detach. So this is where I'm going to use the contour tool. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to duplicate this. So I have 2 of them. And then I'm going to go down on the right hand side and click contour. And I'm actually going to click on this one and click on this one, and you'll see that these go dark, and this actually hides the contour. So I'm left with just the one in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to go into contour, and I'm actually going to hide these 2, so I'm left with just this one. And then I just X out of it, and I'm just going to move this one over here. And then I'm just going to kind of size this one to how big I want it. And once I kind of like it like that, I'm actually just going to do what I did with the elephants. I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to flip it because this one had just a very slight curve to it. And I'm going to put it up there. So now I'm going to click on this and use my control key again. And I'm going to click on just this row. And I'm going to go to the align and distribute these horizontally. You'll see these moved, but because this heart isn't exactly even, it did move a little bit. So I'm just going to move it a little bit on my own. Okay, so I'm going to go back in and actually align these center vertically so that they're all aligned. And then I'm actually going to come down and I'm going to attach these ones because they're exactly how I want it. Okay, so this is pretty much how I want everything to look. I'm going to move this up just a smidge. So now I need to slice it all out of this rectangle. So I'm going to click on this one, and again, holding my control down, or command if you're on a Mac, I'm going to click on all of this, and the first thing I want to do is make sure it's aligned. So I'm going to go to Align Center Horizontally. So that's all aligned. I'm going to actually attach these together. So you see they turn all the same color because now they're all the same. But you see if I actually right now go in to slice this, if I put a square around to slice, my slice won't come up. So what I actually need to do is weld these together. And even though there's nothing really overlapping, the welding makes it one image. So I'm going to click weld, and you'll see it doesn't really change anything. But now I'm going to I'm using my cursor to put a square around this, and now you'll see the slice comes up. So now I'm going to click slice, and you'll see that 2 layers come out, the one that it's sliced out of, and then the original. So I actually don't need this. I mean, you can also use this and cut it out and put it on something else. But what I want is just this square here. Okay, so this is how I got that. So this is what we're going to cut out of the infusible ink. So make sure you save this. And then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to click on this one. And I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on this one. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on all of this. And then I'm going to click on And then we're going to go to make it. And we're doing infusible ink, so you need to turn the mirror setting on. So I'm going to turn it on there and click continue. Okay, so now it's connected to my air, so I am going to change this material. So I turned my wheel on my air to custom, so now I can pick from all of the drop-down menus. So I'm actually going to, right here, it says Infusible Ink Transfer Sheet, but if it wasn't there, you can always browse the material and go to, just type in Infusible Ink. And there you have the Infusible Ink Transfer Sheet. Okay, so now I'm going to load everything, my fine point blade, and cut it out. So I put the infusible ink on a mat with the ink side up. Just going to push it up and push the blinking light. Okay, so my infusible ink is cut out, and I'm just gonna crack it and then peel off the excess. So since I'm using this part, I'm gonna peel out all of the letters just with my fingers. Okay, so there is what I'm gonna press. Okay, so these are the aluminum sheets, and these are the 5x7, and they come in a pack of 2. And they actually come with a film on both sides of them. So this one's kind of a yellow one. This is the side that the infusible ink does not go on. It will not adhere into this one or fuse into it. So I'm going to take that off and just put this on this side so I know this is not the side to press it on. And that's just a tip I got from the Cricut site. So this side is actually kind of hard to get this off. It's a much thinner material, and at first I thought it wasn't there, but there is a very thin one on there, and it's harder to pull off. Okay, so then I'm just going to clean it off. And then I'm going to align this right to the edges. Okay, then I'm going to put a piece of cardstock down to protect my mat. Put this on it. And then put a piece of butcher paper over it that's bigger than this size, and this is to protect my easy press. And my press is already preheated to 385 for 40 seconds. So I'm just gonna put it on, making sure that it's covered. Press the button, no pressure, and just leave it for the 40 seconds. Okay, once it's done, and carefully pick it up. And move that, and this is going to be really hot, so I'm going to let it cool down. For just a little bit. Okay, so now that it's cooled down some, I'm going to take this off. And there we have it. Okay, so this is what I ended up putting it on. I just got a frame. I put some corrugated cardboard on the back of it, and then I actually just stuck this on top of the frame just with some of this foam tape. So there it is, super cute. You can put up on the wall. I also thought about putting just some vinyl like in the corners of some elephants or something else. You could also put like welcome up here or anything like that.